I'm going to go over XPEV, NIO, and QuantumScape. A trader named Monica is interested in these stocks. She's been in it for a while, and I'm actually in NIO myself, and I am completely upside down in NIO. And if you've been in these trades for some time, you know they have tanked, but I am clawing my way out of it, as are many other people. So first up, I'm going to go over XPEV. We ended the day at $9.38, up 1.74%. The day's low, 926. The day's high, 959. The 52-week low, 751. The 52-week high, $23.62. So you can see that we have tanked over the last 52 weeks. Now, to the north side from where we are takes us to 2 standard deviations and resistance and a potential take profit area at 978. Above that, 999, 1021, and there is a gap to the north side that takes us out to 1061, another one at 1172, and there are many other gaps to the north side, and those gaps were created when we tanked. It created a gap going down, which means when we eventually fill, and it could take a very long time, it will fill to the upside. But as you can see, I've tracked this for myself back in April of 2022, and price was at $26.93. This was a hot ticket, definitely a meme stock, and it just tanked as many Chinese stocks have done. Now, I'm not going to mark out these gaps because we're not even close. We're not in the channel. We're going to take this one day, one trade at a time, and hopefully claw our way back. But as you can see on the 5-minute time frame, we are going up, and quite dramatically. Look at all these little gaps. This is a great stock to trade if you like to trade gaps to the north side and to the south side. Now, speaking of the south side, here are your levels at -2 standard deviations. That would take us to support and a potential buy-in area at 894, 872, 862 is where that closes out, and at -4 standard deviations, another potential buy-in area, 852. We are right here. I do not anticipate this to close out on Wednesday, but eventually these gaps to the south side will close. But right now we are in an upward channel, and the gap after that takes us down to 788. And fortunately, as I look back in the bigger time frame, I did not see another gap to the south side. I think that might be it. I want to keep this video short, so I will look at this at a later date, and I have to change out my linear lengths, my linear regression lengths, because it gets wonky on the different time frames. But while I'm here, let me show you, actually, let's take a look at the daily RSI. Look at this, we are going up. We are no longer oversold. We've got plenty of room to move to the upside, and right here at 84, it seems may have been the highest level, 87. All right, 87, and it cracked. But anytime you get above this line, don't expect it to stay there, because it will adjust and fall down, just as you can see here. I use this as resistance. Resistance, whomp, all the way down to the support zone area. And then now I'm seeing that we will probably make our way. It's going to be a fight, of course, back up to this line and then flush us back down again. But again, a bounce here, a bounce here, a bounce here, a bounce here, a sell off here, 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 and the cycle repeats itself. So fortunately, we are on our way up. That's the daily. On the weekly, still turning up with plenty of room to move to the upside, and on the monthly, turning up as well. So that is good news there. And on the 5-minute time frame, going sideways, not really doing much for us. But note here, support, run up to resistance, selling off, back up to resistance, selling off, going sideways. And yes, we could go down to here, and that's what the gaps tell me will happen. And then if we make it back down here, it will ride back up again. The cycle will repeat itself. So if you're upside down in this, it's not going to stay down forever. It will go up, but it will take a long time to do so, to get back to the level where we were in 2020, 21. All right. So the RSI right here, kind of going sideways, but I anticipate it to go down here for a bounce, and that will help close out this gap. Really, we just need to rip off the Band-Aid and close out these gaps. Then I can feel good about going up and staying up. But because there are gaps to the south side, this will haunt me. All right, that's it for XPEV. I've got to go through a couple more and then call it a night. NIO. This is in my gap and go trades. I've been tracking this one for many, many weeks because there were gaps that I was pointing out to the north side and to the south side, so opportunities to either buy in or go short and then go long. But all of these gaps I am tracking, okay? And you'll have to go back to the other videos if you want to take a look at that. But right now, let's go to this week. Is this correct? Let me make sure I move this. Yeah, that didn't look right. All right, this is the week that I'm tracking for my gap and go trades. So we are in an upward channel, so that's good. I talked about this gap at 583, and look at that, we closed today 593. So I was looking for this gap closure, and look at this, ran up. What happens at resistance? People take their profits and they run, lock it in and leave. And look what happens. It tanked after that, okay? And now we're going to be clawing our way back up again. But I anticipate it to touch support right here, grind along the support line, and then either take us to the north side or from the support line, take us to the south side. But right now, in an upward channel, you've got to read the RSI. We've got room to move, but once we get up here, then I'm going to expect a flush, which means we'll go back down here. And this, I don't think I changed the color. This is not correct. I forgot to change the color. So notice how we went up. And intuitively, I knew this was wrong color-wise because we went up, and that means this is going to take us down. So for some people, this will be an opportunity to go short, and for others, like myself, it will be an opportunity to buy in and dollar cost average. That's all we can do unless we're going to sell and take our loss and make it a wash or whatever they call that. And I usually don't do that. If I'm down, I just suck it up and I try to claw my way back. Okay, but that will take us down to roughly 542, and that's support. And what happens at support? I will anticipate a bounce. Could we go even lower? Of course we can, but at some point people will be buying in and they will get in and ride it up and get off the gravy train at some point. And you can figure out what's good for you to get out along these lines. So if I am playing conservatively, I might be, well, I always try to get it down here if I can. That's my goal. But obviously some stocks will never get there. But if I'm here, what I would do, if I like to play it very conservatively, is ride it up to the middle of the line and then get out. Play down at -2, -3, -4, and then ride it up to the middle of the trend and get out. Just be conservative with your money And yes, you'll be leaving profits on the table, most likely, because if it runs, it could run up to 2 standard deviations, where I anticipate price to stay all day long between -2 and 2. But if you want to just get some money and recoup, that's one way to do it. Or you set it and forget it, buy it low. We're at the 52-week lows basically right now. So this is an opportunity for some people to get in and then potentially ride it. The 1-year price target on this one is $9.84. So that represents a 70% return from where we are. And I don't think I looked at the 1-year price target. I marked it out for you at $14.19. So we have to make it all the way. We have to close out all of these gaps. So don't hold your breath that we're going to get here. But the potential is there for a long-term trade. And then after that is $25. So fingers crossed. Let me go back to NIO and just see what else I see. Let's take a look at the RSI on the daily. This gets wonky. You cannot use the linear on this anymore. They changed the calculations. I hate it. Okay, plenty of room to move to the upside. We are going up, no longer oversold or resistance in my case. All right, and on the weekly, turning up as well. And on the monthly, kind of just going sideways. At least we're not going down. The lowest we got to on the monthly is 36, and we're at 39. All right. And for me, we're at support. So this is a potential buy-in for me. But I would set, just because I want it for even a better price, I would set it for here overnight, like tonight, and then, see if we get it. Or just wait and see where we go, because after we reach this point, again, I'm going to anticipate it to fall and to get, down to this level. All right, the next one is going to be QuantumScape, and the last one. The video is getting long. We ended the day at 616, down nearly 0.5%. The day's low, 607, the high, 647. The 52-week low, $4.99, and the 52-week high, $13.86. I will give you some price targets to the north side. Resistance, 628, 634, and another potential sell area, 639. And do I see gaps? No, I think oh yeah, sorry. Yes, all the way up here. We are a long ways off. This is not in our channel, not in the zone, but something to look forward to at 699. And check this out. The 1-year price target is 702, which is right in line with this gap closure. I'm not an analyst, but I could have told you that. I could have predicted that. I don't need an analyst to tell me where this is going. I just read the charts and read the gaps. And to the south side, a gap forms at 613, so there's some pain to the downside here that you should anticipate. 605, 599 and 594. This gap will eventually close out at 576. Right now, we're slightly going up on the 5-minute, but mostly just kind of going sideways. But look at this, the RSI turning down. So I anticipate it to hit eventually down here. It could go up, go down, go up, go down, obviously shake us out, and then obviously touch there. But I will bet on it, because look at this. This has gone all the way down to 13. Just when you think You can't bleed out anymore. Oh, yes, you can. So there's 8 right there. Just look left. Look left and see where we've gone. And if we've gone that far south, that means we could probably repeat it. And the last earnings, not so hot, right there. All right. And did I see any other gaps to the south side? I looked at this just to look for gaps for you. Okay, gaps on the monthly are harder to see. They don't really appear that much. You have to go to the weekly, to the daily, and even the weekly it's hard to see unless they're really big gaps. But I think that 613 is the last one that will haunt us. Obviously, price can go below it, but those gaps will eventually fill. And I don't want those gaps I want them to fill, but I don't want any new gaps unless they're gapping to the north side. All right. On the daily, let me just give you some price targets here while I'm here. It's hard to see right here. Back to the middle of the trend takes us to 672-ish, and then 2 standard deviations, which is a long ways off, 973. To the south side, 416. And our low previously was 499. So make sure you set your stop loss if you're just doing this for a quick trade, trying to make some money, scalping, or just a quick swing trade. It's better to set a stop loss and get off than to lose everything. Better to lose 5, 10% versus 30% or all of it. I know that's hard to hear sometimes because I don't want to set a stop either. And I typically don't. And it has haunted me. Just like this gap right here to the south side. All right, that does it for me. Congratulations if you made some money off of AutoZone. Up 6.66%, but watch out, we have a gap right here to the south side. And that will take us to $2,777. I cannot believe that AutoZone is this high. Higher than NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, even SMCI. It just blows my mind that AutoZone is this expensive, like Chipotle is. All right, and the loser for today off of Vanguard's stocks, Hess Corporation. Now we tanked at 3%. So whenever we go down, I always anticipate a gap up. So if you're looking for gaps, check the stocks that have tanked. Those are good opportunities for us to go back to the upside. It could take a while, but the gaps are there. And for me, it's like a little magnet calling me. But right now, look at this. We're going down. And we're at the middle of the trend. This is resistance. So I won't expect this to fill completely on Tuesday, but the potential is there. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at XPEV, NIO, QuantumScape, and AutoZone and Hess. Thanks so much for watching.